Good morning. This is Megan Emery with Now and Later News. Today we have a very special guest, candidate William Stanford. How are you, Mr. Stanford?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay, so to get started, let's begin by discussing your childhood. What was your life like as a youth?
Well, I had a very rough start to my life. I grew up in a dirt-poor family who barely had enough money to make ends meet and put food on the table. My parents both had to work full-time, so I learned how to be independent and a hard worker. But when I was with my parents, I knew that they loved me, even in the situation that we were in.
How unfortunate, Mr. Stanford. Would you please describe your education and how you came into politics?
Though I had a very bad childhood, I excelled in school. I was fortunate enough to get a paid-in-full scholarship to Yale. While I attended Yale, I majored in civil law, where I learned to defend the defenseless. Also, I studied the Constitution there, and many things about all three branches of government and their responsibilities.
Very interesting. Please, Mr. Stanford, tell us what state you come from.
I was born and raised in Burbank, Ohio, the smallest town in Ohio with a population of 200. Many people think of Ohio as a state with rows and rows of corn, but it's much more than that. It is one of the most influential swing states in the country, and that's why I believe I have an advantage over every other candidate.
Many past presidents have been known for their services to the armed forces. Please tell the viewers about your contributions to the American people.
Well, I was captain in the Army during the Gulf War. I experienced many hardships like no other. I saw my best friend killed by a roadside bomb. I had many close calls, but somehow I pulled through.
Extraordinary. Now let's take a break. Stay tuned for more about the 2016 presidential candidate, Mr. William Stanford. Welcome back to Now and Later News with our special guest, Mr. William Stanford. Mr. Stanford?
First, I would like to say hello to my wife, Victoria, and my two kids, Charlie and Reagan.
How sweet, Mr. Stanford. You sure are a family man.
I love them with all my heart.
What has your life been like since you retired from the Army?
After the war, I became a human rights lawyer, and I gained a reputation for defending the helpless and forgotten.
What a nice way to serve your community. The viewers would like to know more about your political background and how you're going to be the best fit for America.
During my time as a human rights lawyer, I dedicated a lot of time to being part of the Burbank County Board of Supervisors, where I served for 4 years. After that, I ran for governor and exceeded in winning another election. While in office, I gained a lot of political experience and compromising skills necessary for a position of executive power.
Please tell me about your party and what they believe.
I am a proud member of the Balanced Nation Party, where we stand for limited involvement in foreign affairs. We also stand for gender, racial, and gay equality throughout America. Having an annual balanced budget and creating more job space in America is another one of our first priorities. We also support less standardized tests and more interactive classrooms.
Thank you for that information. This has been a very informative interview on behalf of me, my coworkers, and the thousands of viewers tuning in. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity, Megan.